In the fast-moving world of news, it's easy to miss the meaning between the lines. That's where we come in. Each episode, we take real headlines from Newsline Philippines and let AI break them down. Not just the what, but the why it matters.
Imagine this for a second. You've got a national leader thousands of miles away from home, and they get some news.
News from back home, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it makes them make this, huge decision instantly. Something that totally reshapes the national agenda.
And all triggered by the weather, apparently.
That's the really fascinating pivot we're diving into today. We're looking at President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s recent order, a really decisive one.
To stop putting up all those State of the Nation address tarpaulins, the SONA tarps.
Immediately halt them.
And the timing here is just, it's pretty striking. This order came down Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025.
Right in the middle of things.
Yeah, right in the thick of it. The Philippines was dealing with, and still is, really widespread monsoon rains, serious flooding in a lot of areas.
So it wasn't just some minor tweak.
No. It felt like a direct response to an unfolding situation, a humanitarian one.
Right. And that's our mission for this deep dive, to unpack what's behind this decision, why so urgent.
Yeah, what does it tell us about priorities? National events versus managing a crisis, especially when the leader isn't physically there.
Exactly. And what did it show about how the government machine actually works, or maybe doesn't, in a crisis? Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting. The president, speaking from Washington, D.C., didn't just, suggest they stop.
No, his reaction was quite strong, wasn't it?
He expressed deep dismay. He actually called the installations highly inappropriate.
Wow, highly inappropriate. That's direct.
You can almost feel the frustration, can't you? Even
Yeah.
across the miles. It felt personal, not just political.
That's a really key point, and he was very clear. He said he did not authorize this.
He didn't know.
Seems like it. He was quoted asking, "It's already flooded, why put those up?" I mean, that question itself.
Yeah, it really highlights a disconnect, doesn't it? Between him understanding the floods and the people back home setting up for SONA like business as usual.
A big disconnect. Maybe a communication breakdown, or maybe just priorities misread somewhere down the line.
And his response, so fast, unequivocal.
No hesitation.
Didn't suggest, didn't ask. He commanded an immediate halt. Full stop.
Just stop everything. Yeah.
What does that kind of direct top-down order tell you about how he leads when things get tough?
Well, it definitely speaks volumes about needing, real-time accountability and projecting some empathy from the very top.
Right.
Marcos stressed the focus needed to shift squarely onto helping affected communities.
So not just words.
Not just words, a clear, forceful reprioritization, moving government effort, resources, attention away from the ceremony.
With the aid effort.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that has immediate practical consequences for people on the ground, government workers.
And we know this wasn't just the president saying something from afar.
Yeah.
Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin had already confirmed the suspension of these SONA activities.
Right, so it wasn't just hanging out there, it had immediate backing. The executive branch was lining up behind this new priority, fast. And what makes this even more impactful is the timing. We mentioned the floods, but this was just days before he's scheduled to give his fourth SONA.
Monday, July 28th, that's close.
Really close. Think about the logistics. Stopping everything, changing course right before this huge annual event.
It signals something significant.
It really does. A willingness, perhaps, to accept some political awkwardness, some practical hassle for the sake of, public perception and the humanitarian need. It's a real case study in leadership under pressure.
So for you listening, think about this.
Yeah.
This quick, very public redirection. What does it tell us about how leaders need to communicate during a crisis?
And the responsiveness we expect.
Yeah. What does it take for a leader to not just see a problem, a disconnect, but act so decisively and publicly correct course, especially when they're far away?
It really puts a spotlight on where priorities lie when disaster hits, doesn't it?
It does. So this deep dive really showed how something seemingly small, like stopping some tarpaulins going up,
Yeah, just tarps.
can actually become this powerful symbol. It can completely reorient national attention, resources, right when it matters most. It's a vivid picture of leadership in action, even from a distance.
And it leaves us with a really important question to think about. How do leaders effectively balance those big, high-profile ceremonial duties like a SONA
with the urgent, real-world needs of people facing disaster?
Exactly, especially when a natural disaster hits so close to a major national event. What are the real costs to public trust, to effective governing when those priorities clash? And how do leaders navigate that clash out in the open?
Something definitely worth considering.